Hey there, this is Clay with RelationshipInnerGame.com, and you may have noticed that we haven't published any new videos for a while if you've been a subscriber, and the main reason because of that is because we've been sort of backlogged with a lot of things. We've had a lot of projects that we've been working on, and we've been doing a lot of traveling, going to a lot of conferences and stuff like that, and quite frankly, we just haven't had the time or capacity to really edit all of the videos that I've been making and all of that. So, it's like there's this big pile of videos that have been building up, and then it's like, well, if we can't even edit them, then why even bother making new videos? So I just kind of put that on hold for a while. But obviously, if you're watching this, we're back. We're back in action, and we're going to be kind of moving forward from here, doing some regular videos again, hopefully. Also, I wanted to let you know that moving forward from here, I know probably most of you have subscribed to this channel because you're interested in getting your ex back, going through a breakup, stuff like that. But we will be kind of diverging into the future, and of course we will still talk about things like breakups and getting your ex back, but we'll also be going out there and helping you with dating, with relationships, and all of that stuff too, because, sure, I'm kind of known as the get your ex back expert and all of that, but my goal in life isn't to get you back together with your ex at any cost. My goal in life is to get you into a kind of loving and rewarding relationship that you want. And if that's with your ex, that's great. I want to make that happen. But if that's with somebody else, then I want to help you on that journey too. I want you to have the kind of loving, rewarding relationship that you deserve. And I want to be there and help you make that happen every step of the way, no matter whether that's with your ex, no matter whether that's with somebody else, or whatever that may be, okay? So we are still going to be putting out videos and stuff like that on the topic of breakups and getting your ex back. But we're also going to be covering other topics as well too. So if you're interested in getting your ex back still, you'll find these new videos helpful. They'll be on things, like men and women dynamics, dating strategies, stuff like that. And that's going to be helpful for you, obviously, but we'll also be putting out new videos as well too to hopefully draw a broader audience, and they can hopefully gain a lot of useful information for all of these topics as well too. But since I know that most of you have probably signed up here because you want to get back together with your ex, let's start with one of those videos. And this one is going to be on the topic of why your ex pulls away. Okay, so this is going to be, like you're interacting with your ex, you're hanging out with them, you're texting with them, talking with them on the phone, maybe even meeting up in person, going on dates and stuff like that. And you're having a pretty good interaction with them. You're connecting really well, things are going nice. Maybe you even get a little bit physical, who knows. But then the date wraps up, the phone call ends, the text conversation runs out. And then, the day after that, you just get nothing, silence. And the day after that, you get silence. And after that, you get silence. And you're like, what's going on? I thought we had this great connection. I thought we were maybe possibly on the verge of getting back together, right? What is happening? And that's what we're going to be talking about. Why is it that your ex pulls away when the two of you have these very positive interactions, very positive moments together? And the reason why this happens, and we call this the positive interaction pullback, okay? And the reason why this happens is because you have to understand what's going on with your ex, okay? So let's take a step back and look at the psychology of what's going on in their mind and all of that stuff, and this will kind of help explain what's going on. So when you go through a breakup, when your ex goes through a breakup with you, they have to justify the breakup for some reason in their mind. They have to come up with a story to tell themselves about why things didn't work out, right? And, it can be very difficult if they break up with you and they see you as a good person, a good regular person, and maybe you just didn't work out together or something like that. That can be very difficult for them because they're like, well, if they were a good person, if he was a good person, if she was a good person, why didn't we just work out, right? And so oftentimes they may have to exaggerate some of your negative flaws. They may have to add things that weren't there, right? And whether or not you deserve this kind of reputation that they're giving you, this negative image of yourself that they're keeping in their mind, whether or not you deserve that, that's an entirely other topic. but they have to come up with a story about why the two of you wouldn't work out or didn't work out. You know, maybe they'll say, oh, well, he was a jerk, she could never be trusted, they never shared their emotions with me, all of that stuff, right? And again, may not necessarily be true, may not necessarily be 100% accurate, but that is beside the point. For better or worse, they have this image of you in their mind, this negative image of you in their mind. And whenever they say, why did we ever break up? They say, oh, well, it's because, you know, we never connected emotionally, right? And boom, there, that explains it to them. That lets them know why the two of you broke up, and that helps them justify their choices in the past, right? So they're holding on to this negative image of you in their mind, okay? And so when you go up and interact with them and you have a positive interaction, a positive experience with them, you know, you are emotionally available, you're not a jerk, you're trustworthy, and all of that good stuff, right? It's going to come in direct conflict with this image of you that they have in their mind. It's going to create a lot of friction back and forth, and they're going to be like, well, what's going on? Like, I thought he was a jerk, and now suddenly he's really easy to get along with. Or I thought that she was emotionally unavailable, and now suddenly she's like sharing all of her emotions and stuff like that really freely. Like, what's going on? And there can be this sort of disbelief that it's happening. You know, they might say things like, well, where have you been? Like, this is the version of you that I've always wanted to be with. Like, why is this coming out just now? And stuff like that. They might say things like that. This can kind of cause that pullback because they're a little bit confused. They don't know which version of you to trust in, and so they might pull back after that experience, after that interaction, after that date, after that phone call, after that text exchange, whatever it might be, right? They might pull back. And the reason why is because there's that clash between the positive image of you that they saw when they were with you and the negative image of you that they've been holding in their mind, telling themselves is the reason why the two of you broke up. And they're pulling back because they're a little bit confused. They don't know whether they should trust this new version of you that they've seen, this positive version of you, and they don't know if maybe their evaluation of you previously was correct or not. So they're a little bit confused, and they're just kind of pulling back a little bit to kind of sort things out in their own mind and to kind of figure out like what happened here. Was I just like totally wrong? Is my evaluation just like completely off base? Was this just like some kind of stunt to try to make me think that they're like, you know, easy to get along with or something like that? Like what's happening here? Okay, and so you might be wondering, if that's the case, what are you supposed to do about it, right? What are you supposed to do? Well, what you're supposed to do is you want to really nurture that positive image of you so that it starts to overwrite the negative image of you, okay? And this is not going to happen instantly. It's not like there's one, you know, super smooth thing you could say or whatever that's going to like suddenly, boom, make everything perfect, right? Because this is really, at its core, an issue of trust. Your ex has to be able to trust you to continue to be this new positive version of yourself that you're bringing to the interactions. They have to be able to trust themselves to you know, trust that you're going to be that person, to trust in their own evaluations of you and all of that stuff. And this is going to take time because trust isn't something that can just, you know, you can just say like one thing and boom, someone instantly trusts you. Trust is something that has to develop over a period of time, okay? Trust is something that develops with consistency. You know, if you can consistently bring the same thing over and over and over and over and over again to interactions, then your ex is going to trust that they can expect something similar every time they interact with you, right? And that's going to cause them to trust you more. So what you want to do is you want to nurture this trust by continuing to bring the best of yourself to each interaction, okay? And this is why you can't really fake it with your ex. You can't just kind of, you know, study the right body language and study the right, you know, correct things to say and stuff like that. And it's gonna like work. I mean, you know, sure, you might be able to fake it through like 1 or 2 dates or something like that. But eventually, you know, if you're just faking it, if it's not genuine, real, authentic change, the cracks are going to show, and your ex is going to say, oh, hey, you know, I'm starting to see like this emotionally unavailable side of you again, or I'm starting to see this like weird thing coming through on the side or something like that. You know, you're not going to be able to hold up that facade forever. And even if you try, it's going to be like a massive amount of work, and there's going to be like little blind spots that you have anyway. So I don't recommend that you try to fake it. This has to be like a real, genuine change. You have to have really caused that core transformation within yourself, and you know, how you bring yourself to each interaction has to be real and genuine and authentic. Okay. So that is why we really emphasize a lot of these core transformations in our email newsletter, in the videos that we put out, and in our online courses, okay? So you really do want to bring that consistency to the interactions. You want to continue to bring that consistency so that it will inspire trust, and it will help your ex to really know that what they see is what they get with you, and that you know, it can kind of put their worries and anxieties and fears of you know, hey, maybe this is just some sort of stunt or act or something like that, you know, at ease. And over time as that trust builds, this will start to erase that negative image of you and replace it with the positive image of you that I'm sure that you probably want your ex to have. Okay, so you might be wondering, how do I build this positive image of myself with my ex? So if you're unfamiliar with that, if you don't know how to go about doing that, you know, we talked about this in many of our previous videos. We have like over 200 some odd videos that we put out before. We also have our email newsletter over at relationshipinnergame.com, where we help people you know, start to learn these strategies, start to learn what we call advanced relational skills for helping them connect and bond and basically become this more positive version of themselves with their ex, over at, again, on the newsletter at relationshipinnergame.com. And of course, we do have our online courses that you can take and enroll in if that seems like a good fit for you. But if you want to get started right away, the first thing I would recommend that you do is go ahead and sign up over at relationshipinnergame.com for our free email newsletter. That will help you start to work on advanced relational skills and other strategies that will help you to nurture this positive side of yourself so that you can really erase your ex's negative perception of you and replace it with a positive one, okay? So please go ahead and check out relationshipinnergame.com and sign up if you are not already subscribed to our newsletter. This has been Clay. We are back. We are making new videos, and we will see you next time.